Guys, it's Nick. I'm here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I got the Petronas Towers behind me. So I already went through there in the mall. I'm going to continue on and see what else is around in this area. It is the very downtown center of the city, so I think there is another big mall, Pavilion Mall, down the street or something. So I'm going to walk around and see what this area looks like. So a lot of construction. Looks like a kind of old building. Looks like kind of an old building relative to some of this newer stuff here. There is a lot of these tour buses and people on tours. I need to find an exchange place to exchange a little money. The places in Petronas Tower Mall were pretty bad. About 5% off of the world rate, which is like $1 gets you about 4.2 Malaysian ringgit. They're offering like 4. I think I could do better than that. And if not, I could always use my Schwab debit card, which gives you the world rate and refunds ATM fees. So that's always a good last resort. So you hear the term concrete jungle referred to usually as New York City, I think. At least that's how I've always heard it. But I think Kuala Lumpur qualifies more for that term because there's a lot of greenery with all these huge high-rises all around. So it's kind of a mix of concrete and some pretty good greenery, more than you see in, say, like Midtown Manhattan or something like that, that normally has a lot of high rises. Brazil is a little bit like that too. I don't know, it's just all these all these big buildings, you feel like you're just surrounded by them, and there's no real little neighborhoods. It's all one high-rise is next to the next high-rise that takes up a whole city block. 4 o'clock on a Monday. And a lot of traffic. Not a lot of really wide streets or boulevards over here. Maybe that's why there's so much traffic, because there's not a lot of place for the cars to go. There's all these buildings in the way. You got a Bentley dealer over here, Aston Martin dealer over here. A lot of money in Kuala Lumpur, looks like. I don't know what the monthly salary is in Malaysia. Not that high. Obviously, it's probably higher in the city center, but where do people get so much money? I think a lot of it is from the oil industry in Malaysia. I don't know. I mean, Petronas Towers, that's Petronas is the oil company, so that's kind of the symbol of wealth, I guess. And, the Gazprom building in St. Petersburg, Russia, is the oil company, and it's the biggest, tallest building in Europe. So that's another, what's going on over here? Some big shots. Look at this Rolls Royce. That's like dark turquoise and black. That is different. I don't know, it looks like maybe they're moving some diplomats around or very important people. I was in town filming and he wanted to clear the streets for me. I don't know. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of cops for one person. So obviously, it's either somebody very important or a number of people that are coming out of that hotel that they really gotta, you know, give the full treatment to. I have not done my research on why the Malaysian flag looks so similar to the American flag. So I'm going to have to do that after this video is made, and probably put in a little description box below over here. But I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't know. But right, Malaysia got its independence from the UK, right? Is that right? Is that why they speak English here, I believe, right? And then Singapore got its independence from Malaysia. So something along those lines. I don't know what the flag represents, but I'll look it up. I'm trying to find this mall, the Pavilion. I thought I just keep going left and I would run into it, but maybe not. There sure are a lot of flags out here. Is some holiday or something like that, or they're just really, you know, patriotic, which is cool too. Did that say GLS 600? Maybach. Yeah, that's a Maybach. I don't think that's a 12-cylinder though. This is probably a twin turbo 8-cylinder. Track. Yeah, there's the pavilion right there. I think what makes this area seem so overwhelming is that it's not laid out in a grid system. It doesn't look that way, or at least these few blocks. There's rounds and turns and this and that, and so I guess it makes it look like these buildings are just everywhere you look, instead of like say in Manhattan where it's a grid system and you know you're walking down the avenue and there's a corner there and the buildings are all lined up. Here it's like they're all just randomly placed almost. The city is way older than New York City, and so that's how it came up. All these weird streets, and you got some hills and stuff like that involved also. And Manhattan doesn't have that. It has to go up to all the way up to Washington Heights, and even then it's still like a grid kinda, so. But I don't care how good or bad this mall is. I just want some air conditioning at least. But it's supposed to be, I don't know, one of the most high end, or I don't know if it's supposed to be more high end than the Petronas Towers mall, but is that the entrance? How do you tell a tourist from a local in Kuala Lumpur? Easy. They're wearing long pants. I'm wearing shorts. I noticed that in Egypt also, which is obviously very hot, and they still wear long pants. Maybe it's a Muslim thing or something. I'm not sure, but I see that a lot. It's too much. crazy. This is an open air. It's not on top, but at the end I just came in. There's no doors or nothing. And yet they got really good air conditioning in here. If my father was here right now, he'd say, close the doors, you want to cool the whole neighborhood? Okay, so here is a more closed off section of the mall. Mars, Bobby Brown. Some good air conditioning in here. Armani, Tom Ford, Yves Saint Laurent, Chanel, Dior, basically Louis Vuitton, basically the same stores that is in the Petronas Mall, that is in the mall in Bangkok the other day, Central Embassy, Christian Louboutin, the red bottom nonsense. What's over here? This place is pretty big. Ralph Lauren. Oh, they got a Ralph's coffee shop. So there's one at the around across the street from the Polo Mansion in Manhattan, 72nd and Madison. Huh. I'll tell you what this mall is missing, and what the other malls that I went to, the Petronas, the Bangkok Mall, is missing, that American malls figured out. I don't know why they haven't figured it out here, but maybe I just haven't seen them yet. But so Ralph's coffee shop. I wonder how much a coffee is, and do they do the little polo rider with the milk on the coffee? That would be cool. That would be worth the $5 for a cup of coffee. So what I haven't seen and what's missing here is comfortable seating. I'm talking about nice couches, nice individual, armchair kind of seats, leather, whatever. All you have is these, I don't know, seating for restaurants and stuff, but just not owned by the restaurant, but owned by the mall, put here so people could sit and rest. And why is that important? Because when the husband comes to the mall with his wife, he wants to be able to just sit and, I don't know, watch something on his phone or something while the wife goes shopping, so he doesn't get restless. Maybe it's the case that men don't go to the mall with their wives. They just say, you go shopping and I'm not coming with you, and I'll stay home and do what I really want. So maybe that's why they don't have the chairs. That's the only thing I could think of, because in the US they make sure they put plenty of comfortable chairs and free Wi-Fi and all stuff to keep you there as long as possible while your wife goes and spends up all the money. So I don't see that here. So like I said, maybe the men have more balls here and say, I'm not going shopping with you, you go, I'm going to do what I want and stay home or do whatever. Because if these are the only chairs, these hard surfaces, you're not going to want to stick around too long. another mall over there, Fahrenheit. So guys, that's a look at the area around Kuala Lumpur, around the Pavilion Mall area, and you got Fahrenheit Mall over there. A lot of high-end shops, not a lot of comfortable seating. Let me know if you're Malaysian. Do men usually go shopping with their wives or long-term girlfriends or something like that? And what do they do while their wives are shopping, while they're at the mall? Do they just walk around and browse, or are they looking for a comfortable place to sit and watch sports on their phone or check the news or something? I hope you like this one, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.